Hi, this is John Assaraf, and you may remember me from the hit movie The Secret, or from one of my best-selling books on achieving success and retraining your brain for greater financial success. I've been fortunate to have grown 5 multi-million-dollar companies, and I've earned international recognition for my expertise specifically in the psychology and brain science of achieving extraordinary success. Now, in the next few minutes, you're going to experience a snapshot of the incredible research and a new understanding about how powerful your brain is from the actual scientists and experts who are pushing the envelope of our current scientific knowledge about our potential. Science now knows that we can retrain and reprogram the actual neural pathways of our brains to help every one of us break free from our conditioned past so that we can achieve and accomplish the financial life we absolutely want and deserve. Joining me in this short collage are Dr. Srini Pillai, who is Assistant Clinical Professor of Psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, Mark Waldman, who is a well-known brain expert and Associate Fellow at the Center for Spirituality and the Mind at the University of Pennsylvania, Lisa Sasevich, the mom and creator of the invisible clothes techniques for non-sales types of people, who she started her own multi-million-dollar home business with 2 little kids in tow, and George Pratt, the chairman of psychology at Scripps Memorial Hospital in San Diego for over 10 years, and he leads the field of brain imaging research. Now, this short training collage came specifically from a 5-week series of groundbreaking webinars where each of these experts shared for over an hour about the incredibly practical new brain science that's now taking place all over the world. And it's specifically focused on retraining your brain to break through the financial glass ceiling that may have held you back in the past. Now, I can share with you that it's regardless of whether you're now earning $50,000 a year or $100,000 or $250,000 or even more, you can achieve a quantum leap in your personal income, your business growth, or in sales if you're in sales, specifically over the next 12 to 18 months. So sit back and get ready to take the limits off of your income and revenue from now on. Watch the collage we've got, and I think you'll be fully engaged and absolutely amazed. If there are any parts of your vision, of your goal that you want to achieve that could potentially put you in danger, that could potentially cause you harm, that could potentially cause you to fail, the amygdala, which is the little piece down at the bottom, starts to light up. It's an almond-shaped piece of mass in the brain or matter in the brain. And when it lights up, it sends a fear signal and causes a couple of things to happen. Number one, it causes you to either freeze, fight, or run away. Stop doing what you're doing. Now, I'm showing you this image because we're just starting to get a grasp and an understanding that if you don't get the parts of your brain to work cohesively, the vision, the goals, the ideas that you want to achieve lined up with the part of the brain that's causing you to take action or not take action, freeze or not freeze.
You come up with the idea, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I won't succeed. This is a thought. It starts out with this funny little neuron up here, and it sends this message deep inside of your brain to your thalamus, and the thalamus says, oh, here's the information coming in about the outside world. I'm going to fail. I'm not good enough. And it sends that message to all the rest of the parts of the brain, and the rest of the brain simply believes in this thought that you dreamed up with. See, this old reptilian brain that you have is kind of stupid. It just takes in information about the world and reacts to it.
It was a woman that I saw who, very successful at one time, had her own advertising firm, was going through a divorce, and then things kind of fell apart for her. She went through a bankruptcy with this large firm, and her life just fell apart. So she somehow got to me, and we started putting things back together. And I was doing a little inventory with her, because in the book we have a little checklist of events that have happened to you, and she checked something that had happened to her when she was a child, and she said, this probably doesn't mean anything, and that if anybody ever says this probably doesn't mean anything, make sure you pay attention, because that does. Or if you're thinking, should I even bring this up? Always bring it up. Anyway, when she was 7 years old, so she went from a multi-million-dollar existence to not doing very well. It turns out well, though. So when she was 7, she helped her aunt move some furniture. Now, she had never been paid for anything in her whole life, and her aunt gave her a quarter. So she went back to her folks' place, and she was so thrilled. Mom and Dad, look, I finally earned a quarter. And they said, where did you get it? And she said, from my aunt. They said, oh my God, how could you take money from a family member? They humiliated her at a family event. And so in her mind, she fused money subconsciously. She wanted to earn a good living, but subconsciously money was associated with negativity.
Yeah, the way we would describe it is we would call it the gap. So for every one of us in different areas, whether it's business, personal, right, you name it, finance, there's somewhere we are and there's somewhere we want to be, right? And so in that gap, there is discomfort, there's pain, there's desire. And if you can come in and show the person that, have them themselves acknowledge the gap. That's the first thing. Just because you can see it from the outside doesn't mean they're ready to close the gap. So when a person's in a place where they themselves are willing to look at the gap, acknowledge it, and have a rising up inside that they want to transform it.
Even when you have a positive thought, when it's swimming in a pool of negativity, underneath it, that negativity can influence the outcome. So when we look at it from a brain perspective, what does this mean? It means that there are 4 main brain regions that have been associated with the pools that prevent us from reaching our lives, even our best ambitions, even though we may have conscious intentions to succeed. If you look at those 4 regions on this slide, the first is the hippocampus, or the long-term memory center of the brain. And really, the hippocampus is that part of the brain that brings back all of those long-term memories, all of the things that have happened in your past. When I meet people who want to make more money, I find that for different people, there's a different glass ceiling. There are people who make between $30,000 and $50,000 a year. And those people get to that place and all of a sudden they feel like they really can't get any further. Or there are people who make $250,000 a year and people who make $2 million a year. And for each of those groups of people, there's always some kind of ceiling that they encounter where they find that they get to a point, and after that point, they really don't know how to move beyond that. Well, what I'm here to do today is to remind people that ceiling that appears to be outside of yourself. You say, well, I'm just not in the right kind of job. Well, I don't really know. I'm never going to get to $2 million. Why should I even try?
So when your perceptions are inaccurate, misdirected, or distorted,
you're going to make wrong decisions. If you're the CEO or an employee of a firm, if you can't see the future clearly, if you have encoded traumas or micro-traumas or negative thinking or negative life beliefs, you're going to have a distorted perception. Let's put it this way. If you are driving down the Autobahn at 180 miles an hour in a rainstorm and your windshield wipers are not working and your headlights are out, you're going to be having a problem. So you want to slow down, get your wipers working, your headlights on, and if it's raining, you slow and see clearly. So all of these issues that I'm talking about are helping you to see clearly, to see yourself clearly, and to discover the resources within, and to kind of treat yourself as a diamond that has lots of facets that, because of negative life experience, you have to polish some of those facets that have some mud on them so you can see clearly.
Reverse engineering the inner game so that you really are taking someone by the hand that would allow you the privilege to walk them down a path. Be willing to look at where are things working and where are they not, and then the possibility of what it could be, and then open to the question, are you willing to transform that? Is this the time? And I have to say that I believe that one of the biggest disservices that people do to themselves is to allow themselves to be stuck in a place called maybe, or a place called thinking about it. That really, as an entrepreneur personally, I think that the highest gift that I can give anyone who blesses me with being interested in what I have to say, what we have to say, is to present a possibility and then give people what they need to be able to walk away either a yes or a no with stepping into that. Because to walk away with a maybe, it just clutters up life.
A very small percentage of individuals seem to be born with an optimistic capacity. So one thought comes up saying, I can make $1 million. And by the way, as far as I can tell, as far as the research is concerned in neuroeconomics, we are born with a brain that is designed to make as much money as it possibly can. It has no idea how to, but it simply equates money with survival. Anything that will make my life fuller, happier, living longer, and whatever. And it takes many, many forms. So when a child is young, money has many things to it. Money may simply be a reward, a gift, something they desire. And one kid will say, I want that bicycle, my parents don't have any money, but you know what? If I let this creative mind of mine go, I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to go out and sell Christmas cards or Hanukkah cards during the season or whatever else. And that kid becomes an entrepreneur, and we know that that starts maybe around the age of 7 or 8 or 9.
You've got to be able to communicate in a way that that person can catch your words. Your ideal client, it's almost like you read their mind. And so that you've got to be able to communicate what you provide, the outcome that comes from engaging with you that clearly. That's your offer. The other part of the equation to have people say yes is what I call the irresistible offer. And the irresistible offer, it goes along with the offer, because once that person can identify, like, wow, you're talking about something that really makes my heart sing, it's water in the desert, it's what I need. Now there's got to be something to have to inspire them to move on it.
And so what we now know is that if you have 3, 5, 7 positive thoughts, for every negative thought that you've had in the past and what you're currently generating in the present, you can build a new competing neural circuit over here. So you get your big old nasty negative thought circuits here, and you begin to build this new positive thought here. So it's kind of like David and Goliath meeting each other. So at first, you don't make that much progress banging away at old Goliath, but this is very creative. So maybe you figure out a new way to attack this.
When we utilize the tools to get the brain pumped and the brain primed properly, we are training our brain to be able to not only seek out what it is that we want, but we're training our brain to have the coherence pattern between the goal and the vision and the actual imprinting and the rest of the brain. So through cognitive priming, and you can stop wishful thinking, get out of the drug addiction of hopium, and get into the reality of achieving your goals and trading your life for your ideal life. And if you really want to once and for all shatter, eliminate, bust loose, get rid of all of your negative emotions, your negative ideas, get rid of your lack of confidence, lack of certainty, your anxiety, your fears.
When you create neurocoherence inside, when you're getting all of your brain agreed to being relaxed, serene, and organized, here you are outwardly relaxed. Inwardly, your brain actually becomes more active. It's very interesting in a brain scan machine. When you think you are there in this most peaceful state, you have the most active frontal lobes possible. And in these frontal lobes, it's called the executive decision-making center for a very important reason. These frontal lobes communicate. They can send their axons all the way back into that cerebellum, the motivational parts of your brain, and tell them what to do. So the more serene you are, the more they are cooperating with each other. The negative thoughts just seem to be taking a nap for the moment, and the positive thoughts begin to line with all of the positive knowledge you have. You're putting the negative knowledge aside, and you'll feel it. I mean, it's an intuitional sense. You just know that what you are doing is true to your heart, is making money for you in the world, and is benefiting everybody else, and that's money squared.
Hey, welcome back, and I hope you thoroughly enjoyed that. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, it was life-changing spending an hour with each of these experts and realizing how much we now know about the actual tie-ins between our brain and financial success. Just imagine if you were able to spend 3 intense days with these experts, discovering how you can literally transform your financial life and break free from the obstacles, the fears, the habits, and the thoughts that have kept you from really achieving your full income and potential. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore, because on June 14th, 15th, and 16th, right here in San Diego, you have the chance to do that with all 5 of these experts to guide you and take you by the hand. And if you remember Mark Waldman's last comment, the event is called Money Squared, the Neuroscience of Financial Success. To get more information, click on the button on this page and get all of the details. Do that right now, because it's going to be life-changing. And maybe you're dealing with fear of success or fear of failure, stress, and anxiety that may be coming from you trying to keep all the plates spinning in your life or business, where you might be feeling frustration and overwhelm, or of trying and failing. Maybe you're not feeling like you're good enough or smart enough, and there's underlying reasons that are holding you back. Well, guess what? You're not alone. You know, it makes no difference how much you currently earn right now. As I mentioned earlier, whether it's $10,000 or $30,000 or $50,000 or $500,000 a year, every single person has this imaginary glass ceiling that is holding us back from achieving our ideal and potential income. All of the old thoughts, fears, beliefs, perceptions, paradigms, and internal brain patterns that affect people at every level of financial success can be shattered. Now, using new brain science breakthroughs, you can identify them, you can recognize these, what I call success killers, you can release them once and for all, and more importantly, you can replace them with the right financial success pattern in as little as 3 days. Do you remember George Pratt and the great story about the little girl who was humiliated for accepting a quarter from her aunt? Every one of us is conditioned to earn a certain amount of income. Any more income, up or down, and your financial thermostat kicks in and ratchets down your financial success, and it puts you back into what we call the comfort zone. That happens through having your doubts, fears, and anxieties kick in, for you rationalizing, which really means you start to tell yourself rational lies, and you kick back and start taking it easy. Now, neuroscience has proven that you can reset your financial thermostat faster and easier than ever thought possible, so you can experience money squared in your own life. Now, I believe that you owe it to yourself to click the button below and learn more about how this first time ever event can and will change your financial life right now. Go ahead and click that button and get more information. And what I can tell you is this event that we're doing is not about, having a positive mental attitude and believing your way into more success. And I know that a lot of you remember me from the movie The Secret and the law of attraction, but what I can share with you is this is leagues ahead and away from the law of attraction the way we taught it in the movie The Secret. Or, for that matter, any other philosophical or spiritual approaches you've seen in the past. This is really hardcore neuroscience and how to get yourself into neural resonance and coherence that really will attract what you want, but more importantly, will get you to believe and take action differently than you've ever taken before. This event is not about working harder or better time management or getting more sales or career training. Money Squared is about 3 powerful days, June 14th, 15th, and 16th, in San Diego to A, help you break free once and for all from the real causes of your financial results so you can experience total wealth and financial breakthrough after breakthrough. All of this is going to happen with 5 top brain, business, and money-making experts that are going to give you specific training sequentially presented in ever-increasing intensity and focus each day. Make sure you click on the button below and you'll discover Money Squared is really about you unleashing your inner power and genius. It's about you releasing the crap, the conflicts, the resistance, the anxiety, and the problems that have held you back from achieving your financial best. The event is all about you learning to imagine like a pro athlete, not just closing your eyes and hoping for the best. This is about developing powerful strategies and tactics that will multiply your personal income, your business revenues, or your sales. And most importantly, this is about you starting to live your ultimate life and to achieve your financial results by design, not by luck. Click on that button, find out more information, and we'll show you how to skyrocket your income and personal wealth by simply shattering the internal mental barriers, the negative ones that are holding you back, and the subconscious beliefs that hold most people hostage without them even knowing about it. It's what keeps people like you and everybody else, me as well, stuck at our current income or business revenues. And what we're going to do is teach you how to understand what they are, and more importantly, how do you replace them with new neural pathways, new beliefs, and new powerful money-generating strategies and tactics and behaviors that'll help you create a massive financial success in your own life faster and easier than ever before. Now, it's 3 powerful days with 5, not 10, 5 of the top science and business and strategists in America, all focused on your total financial wealth breakthrough based on the latest neuroscience and what I call evidence-based research. Click on the button below and join us June 14th, 15th, and 16th in San Diego. And I look forward to seeing you and meeting you there. But more importantly, I look forward to your financial breakthrough. Click on that button, get more information, and make the decision to join us June 14th, 15th, and 16th.